Hello Wargames Illustrated readers and potential Wargames Illustrated readers. I'm Dan, the editor of the magazine Wargames Illustrated, and I'm going to take you on a tour through the latest issue. This is the December 2020 issue of the magazine, WI396. First thing to point out is what's not with the magazine. There's no free gift this month. I'm sorry about that. We don't always have a free gift. We usually do. And throughout 2021, we've got a packed programme of freebies that are going to be bagged with the magazine, including something very exciting for the January issue, brand new. But we'll tell you about that all in good time. But let's get into this issue of the magazine and see what's inside. So let's get into the magazine. We're invited in by this lovely picture on the cover by our regular artist Neil Roberts, and this outlines the fact that it's a Riverine Warfare issue, wargaming on and around the waterways. So getting inside, there's an editorial there from me in which I talk about how difficult it is running a magazine during lockdown, and then turning over, we're presented with the information about a painting competition that we're running. Now, our Giants in Miniature range of figures has been going for 5 years now, and to celebrate that fact, we're having a painting competition. You send us your photographs of your painted Giants in Miniature figures. We'll enter them into one of 3 categories. It says 4 categories there because we did it wrong, but sorry, it should be 3 categories. Best single miniature, best diorama, best unit or scenic shot, and you can win some fabulous prizes, including £100 worth of North Star vouchers. There's also a lot of subcategories that you'll be automatically entered into. So yeah, you can read about that in the magazine and online as well. Quickfire. This has been running now for a few months. We're really enjoying this section of the magazine. It's almost like a modern reader's page. So Wargames Illustrated readers supply us with photographs and a few words about projects that they're working on, or tips for other readers like creating foil flags or creating backdrops for your tabletops. This one's been running for a few months now actually. David Bickley telling us about his Carthaginian force. So yeah, quickfire. Keep sending us your quickfire tabletop observations and photographs and stories. Foundry's advert there, talking about a Christmas sale that they've got on. Then we're into Observation Post. Observation Post is where we talk about new and upcoming products in the hobby, extensively figures and rule books. So we've got Studio Miniatures there with the Afghan tribesmen. We've got North Star's Oathmark Undead, 100 Years War figures from Plastic Soldier Company. That's in the new resin, thermo resin stuff. MDF buildings from Brutal Cities, some really nice BEF from First Corps, book about Alamo from Caliver Books. And speaking of books, turning over the page, we're into our 2-page full paper jacket section in which Neil Smith tells us about new and upcoming books you should know about, military history books and pertaining to the tabletop. 2 pages of paints there from Foundry. Right, this is the first of our theme articles, Tales of the Riverbank. So this is how you incorporate boats into your games. Not something that features heavily on the tabletop, but Noel Williams gives us some great ideas about how we can do that, using the boats as a movement tray, or how you can use the crew in black powder, also how you could target boats on the tabletop. It takes a lot of influence from the new Battle Swarm book by Oathmark, which does a lot of has a lot in there about boats on the tabletop. So yeah, that's our introduction to the Riverine Warfare issue. Right, it's only rock and bark, but I like it. A modelling piece by James Morris. James utilises his teaching credentials to present in a very sort of easygoing style how you can create rock formations using pine bark for the tabletop. And they do look really effective when finished. A couple more adverts there, and another theme article. So our second theme article, Estuary English, Holmes Bonfire, August 1666. Very big year for bonfires in England, 1666, if you know your English history. So Holmes Bonfire was a raid by the English fleet against the Dutch merchant navy along the Vlei estuary, which is probably the incorrect pronunciation. And Barry uses his expert knowledge of 17th century military history to bring us 3 different scenarios, 2 on the water and 1 leaving the water and going onto land. So yeah, some great photos to go with that as well, about gaming up a river in Holland in the late 17th century. Right, we've got a short 3-page article here about Louis the Ninth, Saint Louis, Saint Hookers and Mercenaries on Crusade. So he talks here about the doomed Crusader, 8th Crusade, which was led by Louis the Ninth, who became a saint. This guy here happens to be our latest Giants in Miniature figure. This guy here, now he's on film. So yeah, just 3 pages there from Crusader expert Steve Tibble. Then we're back into Riverine Warfare again here. We've got an article by Nick Buxey, in which he wanted to put together a force for Death in the Dark Continent, and he wanted to put that force that he put together on the waterways. So he created a small French force, and he also made a French gunboat as well. So Nick tells us how he put his force for Death in the Dark Continent together, Armada Africa, and how he built the boat that they ride upon in his war games. In this article, it's an interview really about the new supplement for Test of Honor, Sengoku, which is written by Graham Davey, Graham who wrote the original set of rules, and it presents 20 new scenarios, new weapons, new rules, new clans for Test of Honor, and of course some great looking photos with great looking figures. I really do like these Test of Honor figures. I think they look fantastic. So that's a Q&A there with the writer Graham Davey. Back to our theme, Riverine theme, or rather crossing a river in this case. So Neil Smith writes about different battles involving bridges, bridgeheads, temporary bridges, supported bridge assaults, that kind of thing, so that including Antietam and Nijmegen. So we're spanning all history here, multiple bridges, and we're at Mons in World War One, then a bridge too far we end with. So some great ideas for gaming using bridges there. Saga is our next article, or a focus on Saga Age of Hannibal. So the guy who wrote this, Dom Saw, very impressed with the new supplement for Saga Age of Hannibal, particularly with the war pigs. And I was speaking to Griffin Beast about this supplement the other day actually, because they bring out the figures for it, and they're saying how well it's going down. It seems to be going down really well with readers. So everyone seems to be enjoying the new Saga supplement, Age of Hannibal, and so does Dom Saw. He tells us all about how it works and what things he's pulled out from the rules, highlights for him. Another theme article we move on to next, Apocalypse How, which is based on the film of a very similar name, Apocalypse Now. Surely you've heard of that. When you watch the film, as I did again, having read this article, it does instantly strike you that it makes for a great Wargames scenario or series of campaigns even. So Neil Smith writes about how you can turn the plot of Apocalypse Now into a series of Wargames scenarios, going down the river on different encounters and transferring that to the tabletop, which he does very well. This next article, our theme for the previous month, if you remember, was Hit the Beach, and when we produced that, one of our regular contributors, Jim Smith, said, "Oi, you've not got anything in there for Korea." So we said, send us something, Jim. So Jim sent us an article, a scenario based on the Incheon landings during the Korea War. He's based it on Force, but it can also be used for other games as well, Bolt Action Korea particularly. This next scenario has been written by our in-house project manager, James, and James talks about getting rivers on the tabletop quickly without too much hassle, so you can represent Riverine Warfare yourself on your own tabletop. He also got a nice little sidebar there about making bulrushes out of brushes, which is always nice. This article here, recreating World War II blast shelters. So this has been supplied by Andrew Pershaw, who's been working on an archaeological dig on an RAF base and has uncovered a blast shelter himself, and then he's transferred that to the tabletop, showing us how we can make a blast shelter like the one he's been uncovering in 28mm. Another modelling article here, which is Mogul Artillery, how to make Mogul Artillery by the Wargames widow, Diane Sutherland, with her very sort of warm, welcoming style that she uses when she's creating these modelling articles, and also a great finished result as well. I think the the artillery pieces do look great, and damn sight cheaper than you'd pay if you bought them. They're not very easy to get hold of, really, Mogul Artillery, and so making them is a great option. Our concluding article in this magazine is Crusader Apocalypse, so we welcome back Steve Tibble, author of both the Crusader Armies and Crusader Strategy, which are books available from Yale. In this article is concluding not only this magazine, but the series that he's been doing about Crusader Strategy. Talks about the Crusaders being on the back foot in the late 12th century and leading to the good kicking that they received at the Battle of Hattin in 1187 by Saladin and his troops. Steve will be back with more on the Crusades in the new year. He's penning an article for us about the Crusades and whether they really were a holy war or not. So that'll be interesting to read in the new year. There you go. That's pretty much it. And concluding with a nice message from Gripping Beast, wishing us all Yuletide felicitations for 2020. And the same from everyone here at Wargames Illustrated. So that's your quick look through WI 396, the December 2020 issue of Wargames Illustrated magazine. Hope you enjoy it.
This video has been brought to you by WI Prime, Wargames Illustrated magazine's online members club. View more videos or find out more about WI Prime by following these links.